We're here tonight with Minnesota Pete Campbell, drummer for Pentagram, and I feel like you have a bunch of other projects going on also.
Too many, man. Too many. I need like 10 of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a drummer, there's not many of you out there, right? So everyone's like, you got to be in every band, you know?
That's right. That's right.
So what all projects do you have going on?
Currently at the moment,
Yep.
oh man, dude, I've kind of trimmed the fat quite a bit. Um, so I just don't have time, and I have a 5-year-old daughter. So it's like I guess it's at being 45 years old. It's time to grow up.
Never, dude. Never.
Right. But yeah, at the time, I'm basically doing a lot of like session stuff, with some other dudes, playing on other stuff. But then, like here in town and in Minnesota, here, I got a band called Rust Bucket, which is a bunch of like just old dads that like jam and I play guitar in that though.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool. And we've all known each other in this band for 30 years, so it's just one of those kind of when I'm not on the road, I come home and I can still rock and roll.
Hell yeah.
So that's cool. We just did a record and that's being mixed right now. Um, and then, man, there's, like I said, it's just a lot of stupid filling in stuff and like someone wants me to do a track or two here or there. That's basically what I'm doing at the moment.
Right on. So how would you describe Rust Bucket as far as like the soundscape?
It's what do we call it? We call it caveman dad rock. Yep,
Okay.
because it's if you can imagine like if Fu Manchu had Beefcake from Guar on vocals.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's a stony, fuzzy rock, but with like Beefcake from Guar. Because actually, what's the funny thing is our singer is a Beefcake and a Guar tribute band.
Oh,
So it all kind of worked out. Yeah.
that's funny. Well, one
Yeah.
of the beefcakes is from here in Louisville,
Oh yeah,
and
which one?
uh Jameson
Oh,
Land.
James Lard. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yep.
He's a cool guy. Yep.
Yeah. So he's playing in Belushi Speedball right now.
What a cool band name, dude. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, and dude, they are like they're just a crazy ass live band. Someone just said, aside from Guar, as far as like the live show goes, that's the other band that they have to see every time they come through.
Oh, nice.
Like you don't ever know. I think I was at a show and they had cases of the like LaCroix water and they were just spritzing it all over fucking everyone.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
it was good shit.
Sure beats Fago, I guess. You can't get, like
Yeah.
like clowns. Yeah.
Dude, dude, I just like literally 10 minutes ago I just saw a video of this girl was like, "Hey dad, can I have a Fago?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she starts chugging it and she pulls it down. He's like, "No." And she's got the makeup on.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
She goes,
She's been turned.
yeah, she goes, "Whoop whoop." I'm like, "Oh shit."
Yep, it's all over. Go to your room.
Um, so how did, Pentagram's been around since 71, I think.
71. Yeah, we just did the 50. What is this, 53 or something? Fuck, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Something like that. My math sucks, but I think a couple of years ago we did the 50th anniversary.
Yeah. How'd you get hooked up with that?
Um, well, let me see. I've been in the band for 9 years. Eight too long. No, 9 years. So like, excuse me. It sucks when you poke yourself in the eyeball. That's fantastic. Um, Victor Griffin, the guitar player, he's been in that band since the Death Row days. Um, Me and him, he's my heavy metal stepdad. That's his nickname. And we've been playing together. We did the math. It's been 20 years, me and him,
Oh shit.
because I was in Place of Skulls with him, and our other project, Engraved, we did together. So with 20 years, we've been going back and forth, me and him, to jam together. And I remember Pentagram got back. He joined back with them after the movie and all that stuff. Um, and there was like a craft beer thing in town here at the Civic Center. And somehow me and a bunch of buddies got on the roof of this motherfucker. We went through the kitchen. We stole like all like these cooks fucking coats and shit. And we got somehow all the way through the thing. We ended up on the top of the roof and just drunk and fuck. And my phone rings and it says Victor Griffin. And I went, oh no, because I know when he calls, like he wants something, man.
Yeah.
Like something's going down. And that's all he said. But he said, hey man, how would you like to come and save the day again? Because every time with Place of Skulls, it was always their drummer would like quit right before a tour or something. So he'd call me and I'd like fly down and we'd do one rehearsal and go to Europe. So it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, dude. So because I guess the drummer at the time, he quit halfway through the Curious Volume recording, their last studio record. Yeah, so they didn't have any drums or nothing. So I flew down there and everything was done, man. Like all the guitars, all the vocals, all the bass, everything was finished. So I had to play to everything. So we did everything backwards. You know what I mean? Usually you start with the drums.
Start with the drums and build on it.
Yep. So I had to come in and play over everything, which was awesome as a drummer, only because I've never done it before, and it keeps you disciplined.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you're going, oh my God, like this is a Pentagram record. Like I can't fuck this up.
Right.
So we did that. Sounded great. I think I did all the tracks. I think I heard 3 of them before I got there. So a bunch of them I didn't even hear until we were hitting record. So we just kind of ran through them. And then Bobby's like, well, you might as well just join the band. And I said, all right, man. And that was 9 years ago.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, how does that feel? Like that's really fucking cool because I listen to a lot of Doom and I know Bobby doesn't like the whole Doom term,
Yeah, I
but
don't either, but yeah,
oh
it's cool.
well, so then sorry about that, but
It's
it's
all good, man. It's all good.
that's the band that really started that movement,
It did it for me. I mean, I was a fan, and I've known Bobby, for as long as I've known Victor. So I've known Bobby and Greg. I've known the dudes. Just we never, it was just one of those things where it just kind of worked out. Where and the whole point was for just me to come and just play drums on the album.
Right.
And it was like, absolutely, let's do it. And then it just kind of morphed into, well, what are you doing in 2 weeks? Because we're going to Europe. I'm like, okay, coming with. And then here I sit.
Hell yeah.
But it was kind of surreal to be in that situation of like being able to play on a Pentagram record because, I mean, like I said, I was a fan of theirs from the beginning because it was Pentagram, Candlemass, St. Vitus, and Trouble, the big 4.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? When people say the big 4 with your Metallica and all that, fuck that shit. It's Candlemass, Pentagram, Trouble, and St. Vitus.
Hell yeah.
So it's just kind of cool, man, and yeah, it's been 9 years since that.
That's freaking cool. Yeah, God, that's really the one thing I like about just rock and roll in general is like, talking to everyone like you, there's always a situation where it's like, well, this was a fucking dream come true. This is what dreams are made of, right? Like, man, I love that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, it was cool because I've been a touring musician for 25 years, living out of vans and fucking eating sandwiches that you had to steal from the other band's green room, and
Yeah.
then you get to the point where you have your own bus and you got your own hotel room and, so it's like you pay your dues and the band deserves it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Pentagram deserves everything that we've got. So it is kind of cool to know that your dues, everything, all the blood, sweat, and beers that you spilt over the years,
Yeah.
It all worked out and it benefits everybody, and we're actually working on a new record right now. So there'll be a new Pentagram record this year as well.
That's fucking exciting shit.
You've heard it here first, folks.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's in the works. We're writing right now. I'm writing a couple tunes and, we'll be getting together, and there's a couple shows we're playing, some one-off gigs over in Europe, but it's going to be cool, man. This is going to be the year for us here.
Hell yeah. So the one-offs, are they like festival dates?
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Like a bunch of the Desert Fests, like Desert Fest Berlin, and I think there's one in London or something, and then a couple more. One in Switzerland, one in Oslo, Norway, and I forget. I'm the drummer, so I'm the last to know. I always
Yeah.
just get the email of where my plane tickets are.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like, just tell me where to go. I'm good,
Exactly.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll meet you at baggage claim.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I just found a really kick-ass band out of Belgium called Fire Down Below.
Oh, cool.
Like I'll send you some stuff on Facebook. Dude,
Please do.
I, I can't get enough of their latest album. It's like Low Desert Rock or something. I don't remember what it's called, but God, it's so good.
Yeah, there's been a lot. I haven't heard them, but there's like been a lot of bands that's one of the coolest thing about being like touring and doing all that kind of shit is all the opening acts. You
Yeah.
know, like finding out new bands. Like there's so many bands that I found from just playing shows. You know, it's like I remember when Uncle S and the Deadbeats were the opening group,
Right.
you know, and then they end up fucking opening for Sabbath, you know, and killing us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like that kind of stuff, like it just blows my mind. There's been so many bands. I found this other band the other day I never heard of before. Like you were saying, this band called Lucid Sins.
Okay.
And they're fantastic. And another band out of Sweden called Mortalicum, which is it's just that's good stuff, man. They just put out a new record, and it's Heinrich, the singer guitar player in that band. He gives me goosebumps. Like it's one of those things where when you hear it and you know it's good, I always get like those
Yeah.
things. Yeah, that band Mortalicum, check them out, man.
So there's a band out of Cincinnati or the Cincinnati area that same way. Like every time I listen to them, goosebumps up, just all over. They're called Blessed Black.
Okay.
Oh, dude, so good. Like, um, every time I listen, I think, man, this is just really good fucking rock and roll.
Yep. Yep.
Like,
And when you get that little thing, you know it's right.
yeah,
You know, you know it's like, oh my god, like that is something special.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got to hear some of they've got a new release coming out sometime next month. Sent it to me, and I was just like, oh my God, like this is even better than the last shit. What the hell is going on? Like, I love it.
Right on.
Um,
Cincinnati's fun. I think the last time we were there would have been 2019 at the something yacht club. Is there something called
yeah,
Northside Yacht Club?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, that was a cool show, man. We had Electric Citizen. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're an
Mm-mm.
Ohio band.
Okay.
Really cool. And Satan Satyrs, which is another really cool band that was on that bill that we took on tour. Yeah.
Right
So
on.
you out of Ohio then?
So I live in Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, cool.
But
Jim Cornette territory.
yeah, I've run, I like it here because I can run Indianapolis, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, Cincinnati, Lexington, Columbus, Cleveland,
Right.
Nashville. It's really close to a lot of really good shows, you know.
Right on, man.
Um, funny story about Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah. There's always funny stories about Minneapolis.
Well, I say funny story. 2017, I've got two kids. They're 17 and 19.
Oh, cool.
So in 2017, we had like three options for summer vacation. Hey, what do you guys want to do? Here are your options. One of those options was going to see Guns N' Roses and Deftones in Minneapolis at the fucking stadium.
U.S. Bank.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, yep.
So we were like, you guys get to choose. It was like that, or go to Florida, or go up to the UP or something. And they were like, oh, we're going to see Guns N' Roses. And I was like, all right,
I
we're,
love you.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
you're definitely my fucking kids. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's the same way. I mean, she's 5. Excuse me, and her name's Uriah, and I named her after Uriah Heep.
Yeah.
So and she loves Uriah Heep and she loves Kiss and she's like in that stage where she's got it in her soul,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So she wants to do all that kind of stuff, like go see shows. And it's like it's so hard when you're 5. I can't take you anywhere. So we just watch DVDs, and she loves ACDC, and like we constantly watch this live ACDC record, and she just runs around, goes and grabs records, and holds the record, puts it on. Let's jam this. It's like, all right, like you're my baby, and I love you.
Hell yeah.
Like you can tell, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel lucky. I was able to take Bailey, who's my daughter, able to take her to see Slayer the last time they were here in Louisville. So it was like Slayer, Primus, Ministry, and Phil Anselmo with the Illegals doing the Pantera stuff. And the proudest moment, uh, the Illegals get off stage and we're going to the bathroom and she starts singing "Respect Walk," and
Nice.
I'm like, "Fuck yeah,
Yep. And you just like try to be tough and hold the tears back, and your
yeah,
lips starts moving.
yeah."
Yep.
You're like quivering and shit, like,
Yep.
oh
But you're trying to be tough.
yeah,
Yeah. Right.
yeah. It was good, dude. It was, and she's now she's 17, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to go to a show?" And she's like, "Nah, I don't want to hang out with you. You're not cool." And
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep. Exactly. I remember I heard this thing one time, and where it said, "Hold your daughter's hand as long as you can, because one day she's not going to let you, and
"Yeah,
it's over." You know what I'm saying? But
yep,
you'll always have that bond. There's nothing better than being a dad to a little girl.
right."
It's just the greatest thing. So
Yeah, I was thinking, when she was real young, like 5, 6 years old, right? We'd lay in bed and I'd have her read to me to help her learn and shit. And it's like I was thinking about that. I'm like, God, I don't have that time anymore. Now I'm like, can you shut up? No, you and your boyfriend can't be
yeah,
locked in your bedroom. Like,
right. Yep. I keep telling Uriah the same thing. Like, wow, I'm 45, you're 5, so by the time you start dating, I'll be dead. So I'm good.
yeah, that was always our joke. She's like, when can I date? I was like, when I'm done, gone,
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah, yeah. When I'm out of here, you can do whatever you want. You rule the roost.
Yeah, hell yeah. So what got you into like starting to play music?
um, Good question. I have an older brother he's only 6 years older than me, but he was a guitar player. Like he always had guitars and stuff. And this was in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? So like, um, I always kept hearing music, and I have aunts too that like I remember seeing Destroyer Kiss the record, the cover at my aunt's house when I was like 5, like my daughter's age, and just being blown away, like in awe of this fucking record cover. And then going home and sneaking into my brother's room and seeing Kiss posters everywhere, and like saying, these guys aren't real, man. There's no way. Like to me, so it was Kiss. Long story short, Kiss was like the reason why I started everything. Because when I found out that they actually played music, it's like, well, I want to do that. I want to be Peter Chris. I want to
Yeah.
be the cat guy. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, they were my X-Men. They were superheroes,
Yep.
but with guitars, and then you start learning more about stuff, and then especially at that time, I mean, seeing like Twisted Sister posters in my brother's room, or Wasp was huge when I
Yep.
was a kid, and like just seeing the theatrics of rock and roll was like what I wanted. It's like these guys aren't real people. Like to me, I couldn't compute, but then I would see like Blue Oyster Cult or something, which I love to death. And to me, they were regular dudes. They were in jeans, and just hanging out.
Yep.
But then you got that other aspect of it, and it just blew my mind that I want to be that,
Yep.
And so that was it. Was Kiss. Long story short.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, we could be short story long. I don't care. We got a
Short
while.
story long. That's a good song title right there, man.
There you go. All right. Yeah. Now, so far, I named an EP for a band a couple of days ago. It's called Cold Whores. So when you see Cold Whores come out, now
Cold Wars.
I want to see a short story long from Pentagram or Rust Bucket, you know, like
Right on, dude. Fair enough. I'll take
uh
you up on that.
hell yeah. So you got a couple of one-offs. You guys, you know, Pentagram's writing, working towards like the recording. Any plans to like tour or play in the US like over the next year or so?
It's kind of, man, I don't know. It's kind of like one of those deals where right now the record is the first priority.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I know there's going to be maybe a quick run up the East Coast coming up in March, but that's just like some club stuff and just for fun, just to get back in the RV and hang out with the dudes,
Yeah.
But who knows? At this point, who knows? Because the record's priority at this
Yeah.
point. That it could more than likely be the last one. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like you never know.
Right.
So we're trying to put as much positive and kick ass that you can into this record.
Hell yeah.
So I'm hunkered down here upstairs. I got a studio upstairs, so I'm just throwing riffs all the time. Like like after I'm done with this, I'm gonna go up there and fucking throw riffs.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, because it's one of those kind of deals. So we'll see what happens.
Right on.
You know?
Well, I mean, what Bobby's what, 72?
Yeah, I think 71, something like that. Who
Yeah.
knows, man? That guy's gonna outlive us all. It
You
don't
pro
matter. I love that dude to death, man. Me and him have been through hell and back together,
Hell yeah.
and and he's the reason why we're still doing this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I want his coup de grace to be the grand finale, and to like have something that everyone can be proud of for the existence of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I love playing live, and but I hate recording because to me, like I've got on my wall, I've got 13 records framed, that I've been on. You know
Right
what I'm
on.
saying?
Yeah.
And I'll never listen to any of them again because I can hear where I fucked up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like live, it's in one ear out the other. When you record, dude, it's there forever. You know what I mean? So I want this one to be just bad as fuck. And live and have that legacy for Pentagram.
Hell yeah.
So we're gonna, me personally, I know there's a bunch of the other guys in the band are the same way, but we're gonna take this seriously and spend some time on it, and not go play some shows just to go play shows. Let's put out a fucking record.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Well, cool. I'm excited to hear like what the new album sounds like. Now I'm
it's gonna
like,
be cool, man. The whole plan is to like kind of go back to the roots. You know what I mean? Like go back to that 70s rock and roll. Like not try to do what people think we're gonna do. Let's go back to where rock and roll is rock and roll.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
just organically make it work. These songs write themselves if you want them to. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah. Getting that you getting that like frame of mind and it just like starts.
Absolutely. No, that's yeah, that's the way it is. You got to get in the frame of mind because I mean, like I said, even with the Rust Bucket stuff and my other solo record that I'm writing right now, it's like you have to get into. I'm writing for this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like then you get consumed into that, and that's awesome because the songs just write themselves once you get in that mind frame. It's a mind fuck, dude. Like it really
Oh,
is, but in the most positive way.
right.
You know what I'm saying? In the most positive way to like transform into different genres as a writing. As a person who writes music, you have to kind of play for the song,
Mhm.
and write for the project. So it's also kind of fun to do that at the same time.
Yeah, I guess it's nice having those other outlets, right? When you're you know, changing genres and you're like, okay, I've got this, which is just heavy and fuzzy and fucking fantastic, and I've
Right.
got this, which is real good rock and roll, and
But then there's also like, I got this riff, this is awesome, but it could work for this instead of this. So that then
Yeah.
you're like doing that whole like arm wrestling yourself to see who gets this fucking sweet ass rip. you know,
Hell yeah.
but it's a calling. Like the song will tell you where it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Hell
And
yeah.
if you can't tell, I take music very personally.
I I'm a fan because I take it pretty fucking personally, right?
right,
Like
right, right.
there's always that thing that's like for me, it's the goosebumps. I was actually talking to my mom yesterday. I called her just like, "Hey mom, how you doing?" And I was like, "Hey, like I haven't talked to her in I don't know, a couple months." Just like, "Hey, what's up?" I started doing this thing and she goes, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're doing something with music again because
There you go.
that's your life." And I'm like, this is why I called you mom because I needed that shit today.
Are you a player, brother?
So I did when I was young. I started playing. I started taking piano lessons when I was probably 3 or 4.
Right on.
Um, Learned the violin, the clarinet, picked up the drums, the bass, the guitar, and I've not really played in uh God, probably 12 or 13 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the piano. That's the one thing I love the most. Like I love. There's nothing better than a good Hammond organ.
Mhm.
Like I hear it on everything. Like regardless of whatever it is, like I can hear like a Ken Hensley or a John Lord looking thing, but I've never learned to play it because it's so intimidating to me. The piano to me is so intimidating.
It's it's a lot.
It is. You know what I'm saying? And you have to like, oh man, like it's so intimidating. So I have nothing but respect for that instrument. So for you to like learn it and know how to do it, I get brilliant,
Well,
brilliant.
I appreciate that, but I suck at it. That's
No.
the that's the reality of it. Like, I dabbled with it for a lot of years. And I've got keyboards and guitars now and they all honestly they just sit in my basement. I do too much to take the time and do it, right? Like I do this and then I've got a couple of businesses that I run also and it's
Yeah.
all day every day just go go go.
That's it. Isn't that the thing though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Constantly go, 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 and you end up getting gray hairs and
Yeah.
this shit.
Yeah, for me
But
it's
it's worth it in the long run. I mean, I go to bed every night just going, fuck today. Like, fuck this day. But then going, but you know what? I got a lot accomplished. And I'm proud about it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? See, you got to stay positive, especially with the hectic life. Like, so I can dig what you're saying about what you're doing. You're constantly going and going and going.
yeah.
And what you're doing right now with your channel and everything is fucking bad as fuck, dude. And I
Thanks, dude.
love you for it. No, I mean we need more people like you. The underground music scene needs more people like you.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm drinking grape juice, but I'll give you this.
I got I'm drinking water, so I'm with you. Um yeah, I agree, right? There are so many killer underground bands that I would love to see I'll say more successful, but
Sure.
then we've got to talk about like what success is and whatever other
Right,
bullshit comes on,
right. But
right?
because then did they sell out because they went on tour with
Yeah.
High and Fire? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, or something like that. Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh man, like good for them. It's like I mentioned before with Uncle Ass and the Deadbeats, fantastic band, love them motherfuckers. Um, they got the gig to open for Black Sabbath on the farewell tour in the UK. That is amazing. But
Yep.
then all the underground kids and that thing was like, fuck them, they sold out. He was like, how'd they sell out? They're playing with Black Sabbath on a farewell tour in stadiums. It's
Right.
like some of my friends in Elder, the band Elder. You ever hear Elder
Oh yeah,
before?
who are on tour with
They're
Tool right now.
cool.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Sold out fucking shows from a band that guarantee there's 5 people in that audience that know who Elder is.
Right. Oh no, a lot more than that actually. Like,
Right, but
but
right,
yeah, yeah. I mean, considering right, you've got Tool, and then you've got Elder, who is definitely not at that level. But when they
right,
announced Elder going on that tour, I was like, holy fuck! Like,
yeah,
fuck yeah, dude, those guys
amazing.
deserve it. You know?
Yep, absolutely, amazing. I think that's fantastic because you're opening up to new audiences, and it's just great. Like I love it, man. And so, but then there's other people saying, "Well, fuck them. They're different now. They sold out. Shut sold out. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
fuck that,
shut up.
dude. If you're a
Yeah,
fan, be happy for them that they're getting somewhere with it.
right. Because you know what it does? It does nothing but elevate, or like get our music scene to the next level.
Yeah,
They're opening up so many because I can just vision it in my brain that there's a couple kids out there with Pentagram patches on. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yep.
Watching Elder open for Tool. I guarantee there's a Pentagram shirt in that fucking crowd.
Oh, fuck yeah, there is.
You know
There's
what I mean? Which
probably a
is
couple for sure. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Which is great because it helps. Because I remember like going to shows as a kid and looking and like buying at that time, cassettes or vinyls
Yeah.
of bands that I saw other people wear T-shirts of. Who are these guys? Like, what the fuck? Who is this?
Yep.
It's like that kind of thing. So it's. I hope that keeps coming back, man.
I think it will, right? Like
I
that's the
hope so.
I feel like so I'm pretty close to your age. I'm 47. And when we were
Yep, I'll be
kids,
46 this year. Yep.
yep, I'll be 48. Fuck.
Yeah.
Pushing 50. Like what? I didn't never think I'd live this long. But when we
Fine
were
wine, baby.
yeah,
Fine wine.
when we were kids, you saw someone with their battle vest on, and it's like, oh, that's a cool fucking patch,
Mhm.
right? And that's how we learned music. You learn from what t-shirts they're wearing, what battle, what patches they have on their vests, what are they listening to, who's talking about what band, and that was the life. And to
Yep.
have vinyl at that time, you've got this big tangible thing that you fucking held.
And
And
that's perfect because it's tangible.
yeah.
You can hold it in your hand. I think I've downloaded like off Bandcamp. Well, I will do it just to give the bands money.
Hmm.
Like I'll download the thing, but I've never listened to it. You know what I mean? But I like physical copies of things so I can hold it because yes, you're right. You open it up, you can read everything. You
Yeah.
see where it was produced. On the back in the day too. Like I would read. Let's say I go buy a Cannibal Corpse record because I
Oh
used
yeah.
to just buy it, like all the time. But at the time it was like a set. But see, fuck, you know what I mean? But open it up and read the thank yous,
Yeah.
and then find bands off the thank yous of those records. Incantation, Emulsion, Mortician. Who the fuck
Yeah.
are these guys? Gore Guts. And
Yeah.
then go look and find a Gore Guts record because they were thanked in a Cannibal Corpse album. So I like every record I ever do or be a part of, I always make sure I mention people or bands in that because I know that I'm not the only one who did that. That's how I found bands was reading who liked who at the
Yeah.
time before the social media shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it was you read the thank yous, you look at the articles that where they're being interviewed, and like,
Yep.
oh, what are they listening to right now? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, I gotta go listen to that. Oh, hold on, who's playing on this upcoming tour? Because I want to check them out. I want to, that's one thing my wife doesn't like about me is like, she thinks we're just going to see the headliner. Are you fucking crazy? I
Yeah.
want to see all the bands.
Yep.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
good, bad, and ugly, right? Like,
Absolutely. You go there to see well, we could be a little late because they don't start till 9:15. Yeah, but the show started at 7.
right.
You have no clue what you're gonna miss. I
Yeah.
remember watching like I'm buddies with the guys in Clutch,
Hmm.
but back Elephant Rider, so that was like 96 or some shit. And the first time I ever seen Clutch was on the Chaos AD Sepultura tour at First Avenue in Minneapolis.
Fuck yeah.
It was Neurosis, Fear Factory. Well, Clutch opened. Clutch, Fear Factory, Neurosis, Sepultura.
Ooh,
I knew we went there for Clutch or Sepultura,
yeah.
and I knew of Neurosis a little bit. You know what I mean? Never heard of Fear Factory. Never heard of Clutch. Clutch had a 25-minute set.
Oh
That
shit.
was
That was
a
like two
Transnational
songs.
Speedway League. It was, yeah, but it was Transnational Speedway League, their first album, and I was a fan ever since.
Hell
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Fear Factory. Well, I think it was Soul of the New Machine or some shit at that time. Never heard of them. No fucking clue. And they that fan since. Then we kept going to see Clutch, kept going to see Clutch, and they had one of their opening acts, this band called Fu Manchu. Never
Oh
heard of
fuck
them.
yeah.
I could have left after Fu Manchu played. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
they blew my fucking mind. Absolutely blew my mind. I could give a shit at that point to watch the Clutch. And we did, you know, but like I don't care. I blew my wad on the opening
Yeah.
band. You know what I mean?
So
Yep.
I guess 2016, this one sticks out to me. We went to go see Deftones and Refused up in Michigan, and I'm the early guy. Like I want to be first in line. I want to make sure we're as close as possible. I want to experience the show, no bullshit. The band
Right.
that opened they're called Spotlights, and I'm gonna tell you, same way. They fucking played, and I was like, holy fuck. Like, they are so fucking good. And it was like their first album that came out. So, titles. And now, I don't know, I've probably seen them 20 times, right?
Right. Right.
I just saw them a few times in 23. I think I saw them 5 or 6 times. It was like, we're going to
Mhm.
go here and see them. We're going to go there and see them. Like,
Yep.
fuck.
That's the most amazing thing, man. It's about that kind of shit. Like we played last year. We did. It was just a weekend. Pentagram did a weekend, and we did L.A. and then Ventura.
Okay.
So it was just a Friday, Saturday. You know, we all flew in, did the thing, fucking went home. But sold out shows in both theaters. You know what I mean? But the opening band I've never heard. They were called the Early Moods,
Okay.
and we literally sat there going, "What the fuck? Like this is the next thing. Like this is what's going to carry our flag." You know what I mean? So if you get a chance, check out the Early Moods as well.
Wow. Oh,
And
I
the other
am.
cool thing is, I don't mean to interrupt you, but see, when it comes to this kind of shit, I take it personal, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, the opening bands, because I've been opening bands for that kind of shit. My band 60 Watt Shaman back in Maryland, way back when we were opening our first tour, opening on the package was the headliner was Zach Wild Black Label Society, and this was Stronger Than Death. So this brings you how far that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we only had a 25-minute set every night. So it was us, Crowbar, um, Pissing Razors. Do you
Oh,
remember
yeah,
Pissing Razors?
I do.
Okay, and then BLS for Stronger Than Death. But the thing I love about those 25-minute or even 30-minute sets of that opening group is they have everything to prove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's ever heard of you before. They're here to see Homeboy or whoever the fuck. You know what I mean? So they're gonna sit there and just fucking throw everything they got. And it's amazing to me because you find all these bands because of them like giving 110%. That's why every tour we ever do, every show Pentagram's ever played in the last 9 years, I am there. When the rest of the guys like want to go back to the hotel and chill, you know, like I'm at the venue watching every fucking band.
Hell
And
yeah.
they want to give you t-shirts, you know, hey, like, nope, I'll pay for it
Right.
because I know that you got to get to the next show.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'll gladly pay for your fucking shirt
Well,
or your
and
record.
that's, one of the cool things, like, with Pantera doing their
What do you
recent,
think
like,
about that? What's
I'm a
your
bit,
opinion on that?
my opinion is I think they couldn't have picked two better guys to fill in
Agreed.
for the brothers,
Mhm.
because Zach is fucking amazing, Charlie is fucking amazing, and then you've got Phil and Rex. Like, so the first time we saw it, we caught it in Indianapolis, and Snafu opened the show. Detroit band, love the shit out of those guys. I'm actually talking to that guy right after you and I are done.
Nice.
Uh, so, of course, I loved it. I'd seen them a number of times before they were out with Pantera, so I'm already familiar. I'm singing along, having a good time. And the thing that I really fucking loved is Phil was side stage watching them fucking jamming out. And I'm like,
Yep.
that's
That,
fucking awesome. That
that's what he does, man. People give him shit. They give him so much shit, but he is that kind of cat. You know
Yep.
what I mean? I've known him for 20 fucking years. He's a great dude, and he loves that watching everybody, and he'll
Yeah.
sit there and do this, you know, like that kind of shit because he gives a fuck, and
Yeah.
it's that whole era of that kind of dude. You know, you can get it with basically everybody in down.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? If you go play a show and Jimmy Bauer's there, Jimmy Bauer's going to sit on the side stage and do this. You know what I mean? Pepper's going to do that shit.
Yep.
Kirk's going to do that shit. You know what I mean? Because it's those kind of cats are they have that same mentality of let's watch everybody, and if
Well,
the
yeah.
groove hits, if it hits, it comes back to that goosebump, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
these dudes they're the same, and we're a dying breed. You
Oh, well,
know?
that's the truth, right? Like, so Super Joint was touring, just a real quick like Jimmy Bauer story. And
Love me, Jimmy Bauer. He
uh
great.
fuck yeah. So of course I take my daughter to go see Super Joint, and I think they were on tour with Child Bite and Battlecross, who are, kind of buddies.
Battlecross, kick
Yeah,
ass.
yeah,
Yeah.
fucking love those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there. My daughter, I don't know, at the time she's probably 10 or 11. Well, I throw her up on my shoulders. Security's like, she can't be on your shoulders. I'm like, all right. So I put her down. There's a firefighter next to me that throws her on his shoulders. And
Oh, nice.
we're fucking doing this all night, just tossing her back and forth. There, I've got a video where like, I don't know, they're Phil's up there and she's over there fucking banging her head. We've got pictures snapped of her when she's on, I think she was on the firefighter's shoulders. Fucking Jimmy Bauer reaches out and gives her fucking knuckles. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like that's good shit. She remembers that. Like I went to go see I Hate God a couple months ago, and she's like, I said, "Hey, remember that show where the dude gave you knuckles when you're on the shoulder?" She goes, "Yeah." I was like, "That dude's gonna be at the show." She goes, "Oh, tell him I said hi, man. Thank you. He's so fucking cool." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So I talked to Jimmy after the show for a little bit. He's like, "Oh, that's cool, dude. I'm glad she enjoyed it."
Yep.
I'm like,
That's
"Fuck yeah,
amazing, man. Yep. Kids are like kids that chose because a lot of our stuff, you know, was all ages, you know, at certain points.
yeah,
And the one that I'll never forget was 2019. We played Knoxville, Tennessee, and some guy came in and he had this little boy. And I remember his name was Brian. This little boy, he was like 7, maybe. Pentagram T-shirt, all hemmed up. His mom like hemmed it so it fit his ass, you know. And he knew all the songs. He knew everything about the band. We took all these pictures with him, and he was up front the whole time. Like, you know, his dad was protecting him, you know, because it got
yeah,
crazy. And he knew all the songs, and he kept looking at the set list to see what was next, you know, and all this stuff. And I had this China Crash symbol that because we were on tour for a couple of weeks, so that thing shit the bed, had cracks in it and all that shit.
hell yeah,
So at the end of the show, he sat there, and this kid was just like in awe of the band.
hell yeah,
So I took it off. And I ran over to him and I sat down and I gave it to him. And I was in tears, like
fuck
literally
yeah,
crying. You know what I mean? Because it
yeah,
meant so much to this kid. And everybody in the crowd, you know, like start clapping and everything was cool because everyone was protecting this boy, you know, because he is the future
yeah,
of rock and roll. So we did all that. We signed it all, gave it to him, and he was crying, and I was crying. You know, Bobby was crying. You know, everyone was crying, dude. Just to see this kid was so into this band, like this was his life. Like we were his Kiss,
fuck
if
yeah,
that makes sense.
hell
You
yeah,
know
it
what I mean?
does. Yeah.
And it was just surreal. So I just kept getting every drumstick I had, I gave him all my sweatbands off my arms, and Bobby gave him a shirt like off his body, so he has like this shit forever to remember that day, you know what I mean?
That's
And that
fucking
kind of
cool.
thing, like with your daughter and Jimmy, like that, it means a lot
Yeah,
to the player to see that, you know what I'm saying?
for
And I
sure.
can just imagine I'm gonna be taking my daughter to rock and roll gigs, so, and she's gonna be, oh my god, like what the fuck, like real guitars,
Yeah,
and it's I can't wait, I literally cannot wait to show her that, because that side of music,
yeah.
to show that these are real people. Like she doesn't believe um that I play, like she looks on YouTube to watch me play, and she's like, "My dad's famous. He's on YouTube." I was like, "Okay, yeah, okay," but my dad's famous, so to all her friends, my dad's a rock star. He's on YouTube. Like, yeah, okay, baby.
Yeah, yeah. But so I went. My favorite thing is seeing kids at shows.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, because I agree with you 100%, right? They're the next generation. If they're not coming to shows, there's not going to be any more fans for the bands, you
Right,
know,
right.
and end up dying out. I don't want that. So I went to Nashville May of last year to go see Gojira and Mastodon and Lorna Shore.
Nice. Yeah, they came through here too. We got this new, not to interrupt you, but we got this new amphitheater they built in town here. This outdoor thing in this rock quarry, because our town is called the Granite City. It's known for all of our granite
Yeah.
quarries up here up north there in Minnesota.
Minnesota,
Uh,
eh?
yeah, oh, sure there. Oh, you betcha. Uh, but this whole venue, like the whole city was up in fucking arms about it because they hate change here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So they built this fucking thing, and it was sweet. And we got like the first show to christen this motherfucker is Willie Nelson. You know what I mean? So all the fucking rednecks here are like, okay, cool, we can do it. But
Right.
Gojira and Mastodon, that whole tour was the first metal show ever here. And it was sold out in like 15 minutes because kids here in the frozen north are starved for that shit.
Fuck yeah, they are.
But that was a great show. So
God.
anyway, that was my story. But yeah,
All
that was a great stuff. Like,
all
yeah,
those bands are
Gojira, like, to me, stole the show. I love Mastodon. I love all those guys. We know all those dudes,
yeah.
And they're great. You can't top them. They're in a league of their own.
Uh-huh.
Mastodon is in a league of their own. And that's another band that I can remember. Every time you would play Savannah, Georgia, or anywhere in Georgia, they were the opening band, like 20 years ago,
Right.
for Place of Skulls or 60 Watt Charm or whatever. Like they were the local band, you know. And I remember me and Victor Griffin were in Knoxville, Tennessee, and his TV fucking blew out. So we went to the Best Buy in Knoxville, and they had that record, The Hunter,
Oh yeah.
Mastodon, and it was. They had this big fucking display of record of the month or whatever, and it was that record. And Victor going, "Is that the same Mastodon?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Like that's it." He goes, "The same dudes." I'm like, "Yep." He's like, "Wow," and that's all he said was, "Wow, good for them."
Yeah, but
Because he's so out of what's happening.
right.
But like I said, they used to be like the band you played with in Atlanta or Savannah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that, and to watch them go to like be one of the greatest metal bands of our generation.
Yeah.
Well, not
And
not
they're
our generation, but like of the second generation. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, but they're
Lamb of God as another one.
yeah.
Lamb of God. I remember they were Burn the Priest. You play with them in Richmond.
Hmm.
You know, and I
Again,
love that.
right? All those bands, there's a reason that they got to the level that they got, right?
Amen.
It's the constant grind and the constant evolution of their sound. It's not always
Sure.
the same thing, right?
Right. They continue to go. Like Clutch is another band that Clutch is always going to be Clutch. They're so cool. Every record they reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
There's not one Clutch record that sounds like any other ones. But the reason why they have their fan base is because they're out there all the fucking time.
Yeah.
They're constantly touring. You know, to me, they're the Grateful Dead of fucking stoner rock. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they fucking tour all the time.
And those,
You know,
well, them and, them and Tool, like they're fucking, their people go see them. If they see them 8, 9, 10 times on a fucking run, and you're like, holy shit.
right?
Like,
You know,
I
it's the
used,
Grateful Dead of our generation.
it fucking is, dude. It's fucking fantastic.
Absolutely.
I love seeing it. I love seeing bands just get success from anywhere, right? Like,
Sure. Yep.
fuck, keep it going, keep playing. They're
Like it got to the point where the Clutch guys like started their own record label. You know, Weathermaker Music. That's what
yeah,
they had. So they put. I mean, they were signed to Sony, to Columbia, all these major records, and got fucked.
yep,
You know what I mean? And so they got their own thing, and they have their own fucking distribution. They can do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying?
fuck
It's
yeah,
like it's so cool that that's available now
yeah.
to bands like that. Like Entombed, one of my favorite bands of all time.
Love those dudes.
You know,
Yeah,
fucking right. Like they started 3-man recordings.
yep,
So because they were sick, they got fucked by Columbia for Wolverine Blues. They made no money. Columbia, because Wolverine Blues was a fucking multi-million-dollar fucking record.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It
Well, and
changed the
that's
genre.
well, and music has really evolved, right? Since our day, back when we were kids, you needed a label to get the notoriety, to get the
You did.
support, and now you don't fucking need it,
You
man.
don't.
Like
No.
the access it's right here on the computer. Like
Mm-hmm.
fuck a label, right? Go out
Yeah.
and do it yourself. You
Yeah.
don't have
Fuck.
to
I
sell
got
it.
my own, man. I got
Right.
me and my brother Andy started our own record label.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've released 3 records already, and there'll be 4, or actually 5, 6 coming out the rest of this month.
Fuck
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And everybody gets what you get. I don't need any money.
Right.
From them. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
going to put you out and pay for the distribution and all that shit and CDs and whatever, just so people can fucking hear you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's gonna make itself because there's no bands that are gonna be signed anymore.
Right. No,
You know
not
what I mean?
anymore. It's so easy to do it DIY, which is, I fucking love it because again, right, going back to when you were with a label, you didn't see half of that money, right?
Oh no,
Like
no.
it
You,
didn't
you
make
don't see
sense.
any of it. You don't.
Right.
You actually owe them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've been in 3 bands that like actually were on like full blown record contracts, and owed them money. So then we go on tour, and where's the tour support? There's no tour support because you owe me $30,000.
Right.
I was like, okay, but how do you expect me to sell your record? Because now it's your record.
Yep.
It's not our record. But how do you expect me to sell that if we can't go out and shop it? Like I look at touring bands like vacuum cleaner salesmen. You know what I'm saying?
For
You're
sure.
knocking on
Yeah.
doors and say, hey, here's my product. Let me demonstrate my product to you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as going and playing shows. Let me demonstrate my product to you. Here you go.
Yeah.
What do you think? Would you like to buy? You know what I mean? But all these labels, they don't give a fuck. All they care about is that much. Like the Reason to Live 60 Watt Shaman record, we were on Spitfire Records, which at the time in 2000, one or two, was a big label. I mean, they had Dio, they had Ted Nugent, they had all these motherfuckers. And they gave us 60 grand to make this fucking record.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
for why?
Well, and then they're like, we gave you 60 grand. You owe us. Like, hold on.
That's the way it was. It
Yeah.
cost 5 to make, and everything else was spent on cocaine and
Yeah.
and stupid shit. It's like we
Yeah.
got all this money, fucking blah blah blah. But then come to find out, we owe that money.
Yep.
So it's just it's so silly. You don't need that shit. Like even a place like Bandcamp, which to me is amazing.
Mhm.
Do they take their percentage? They do, but are they a platform? Yes. You know what I mean? Like Tom, you could start your own record label today on Bandcamp.
For sure.
You know what
I
I'm
actually
saying?
got a buddy who did that. I think he's got one release out. He's got 15 more slated to go out
Right.
over maybe the 6 or 8 months. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, do it. Get to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Or like a outfit like DistroKid or some of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's what I use. Where it's like you just pay this thing for a year, and you can put out all these motherfuckers,
Hell
and
yeah.
you're getting it on everything else. No one's making any money, but at least it's out there.
Yep.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
That's the important thing, right? Is getting it out there. All right,
Absolutely.
Pete,
Yeah, buddy.
I'm
You
getting
gotta do
I'm
your thing.
yeah, I'm getting close on time. So here's what I'm gonna say. First, thank you very much for taking time tonight to fucking chat with me. Appreciate it. I think we had a great fucking conversation.
Fantastic. I could talk to you all day, brother.
I was just like, my next thing is I want to do this again,
Part
probably in a
two.
couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
So
buddy.
I'll get with you and we'll get that scheduled. All right.
Right on, dude. I appreciate you and I love you and I thank you for everything you do for the community.
Love you too, dude. Have yourself a great fucking night. Go write some killer tunes.
Right on, bro.
All right. Later, dude.
Bye bye.